We are going to be doing a video about physiognomy. Now, might be wondering what physiognomy is, and it's how to judge a book by its cover. And what do I mean by that? From what I've learned from this, it's basically like face palm reading, but for the face, which makes a lot more sense since you can tell a lot more by people's temperaments, manners, thoughts, and actions by their face more than their hand. Then you may argue and say, what about phenotypes, for example? Like Asians have wide set eyes. Are you saying all Mongoloid Asians are like this? No, or the other argument, or most Semites have an arch nose. Are you saying this? No, of course these people have these features. I'm talking about if it's more profound than the rest of the Mongol or Hebrew populations. And then with that out the way, then you might say, oh well, what about plastic surgery? Well, usually people who get plastic surgery, like I said, they then form into their features. So if they change their nose, and then they will then get the actions that will resemble that nose type or that double jaw type. So this is a good video for like the manosphere, looks maxing and stuff like that. We have seen that Western face reading and Eastern face reading, unlike calendars, languages, cultures, religions, Eastern and Western face reading are actually in agreement with each other. And now that the West is in a globalized society, it's better. So let's get into it. We start off first with the Mars face shape. So this is the Mars face shape. So what's it called? The Mars face shape, I'll just give you an example. It's the triangle, and let's see. So, as you can see, like I says, people with a Mars, this is the warrior face shape, right? So these are all people in the army, and have you noticed one thing? So people with the Mars face shape, they make great warriors. And they usually have the caloric jawline. So you know the chiseled, charred jawline. So it usually goes into a match with this when it comes to the side profile. So just imagine just what I showed you, a square face and a like really robust jawline. That is what makes the Mars face shape. So yep, and like I said, that's the warrior class, that's the athletes, the so-called chads. They're known to be good for like the infantry, but they may be extremely aggressive, impatient, and impulsive. So now we have the Venus face shape. So the Venus face shape, so what's it called? Like I showed you the shapes. The Venus face shape here. I'll just minimize that one. And I'd say the best one is Sydney Sweeney here. So see, she's got that diamond face shape. That is the Venus face shape. And this is, like I said, these people, like I said, are more feminine. They're more feminine, they're more attractive, a bit like angled eyes. So, yeah, so then, what's it called? Yeah, this is the Venus face shape in men. So, like I said, it exists in men too. So, that's it there, example of that. Then, what's it called? We have the Saturn face shape. So we have the Saturn face shape. So the people with a Saturn face shape are always going to have a face sort of like that. Sort of like a weird, funny square. And these people may confuse, are absolute sex freaks, and may confuse sex with love. And as you may see, P. Diddy has that exact Saturn face shape. See how it goes like that? Just like, imagine the face underneath the Saturn ring. I know you can't see that because the picture's so small. But yeah, so this is weird, square shape. These people have a broad passion though and are very artistic and make very good entertainers. And then you have people with a moon shape, which is oval. Once again, this means they're bright and independent, as the sun is bright, you know. And then the moon, which is a bit more round, it's more rounded, it just stands for the same face. So long faces are your sort of aristocrats, your prophets, your diplomats. They, unlike the Mars face shape, they fight through ideas. They want to bring the warring parties to the negotiation table, unlike the warrior short square face. But once again, long faces can be judgmental. So like I said, the best one for this is, what's it called? Have I got him in here? So a long face shape, like rectangle. Oh, it's not showing up, but the picture was Russell Brand. So, because as you may know, Russell Brand has like a very Jesus-looking face. So imagine Jesus, you know, or Russell Brand. So, yeah, and that's sort of what they stand for. So, and then you get the what's it called? The sanguine profile. So once again, this is a very aristocratic look, and sort of imagine like they don't have like a really good jawline like the Mars one, but an example of that is, like, I'd say would be Tucker Carlson. He sort of has that sanguine. Well, if we had the side profile, you know what I mean. He has a sanguine face shape. So, and once again, sanguines, like I says, they have the need to be loved. They want to be loved and stuff like that. So now we have the face, right? So the face as a whole, right? So imagine the face, right? So the face is a bit like the eye. So the inner face is like the pupil, and the outer face is like the rest of the eye. So the smaller the inner face, and the broader the head, means the more like these people make good politicians, because, or like good debaters, because they can sort of put themselves, because their mid face is a bit detached from the rest of their face. So this shows that they're very compressed. They can take a lot of criticism. My example from that was a guy from a very small inner face, but has like a very broad outer face. is like Charlie Kirk. So if you look up a picture, I don't have a picture of Charlie Kirk right now, but yeah, he's the perfect example of that. Somebody with a smaller face and somebody with a larger inner face and does not have a very broad head, may be more sensitive and may not be good for the job as sort of like as doing a very controversial job such as what he did. So yeah. So okay, now like when it comes to the lips, if it's bigger underneath, this person is more introverted, thinks before they speak. If it's bigger at the top, they're more likely to blab things out. Okay, now eyes, deep set hunter eyes, almond eyes are attractive, manly. They take things in before action and are more likely to be skeptics, unlike people with round or wide set eyes. As of a person with beady eyes, run, they do not trust people, but these people are very good as detectives as they can snuff people out. Like, remember, you always had that teacher with the beady eyes, just play with your imagination here, folks. So, like I said, they make great detectives. Okay, as of eyebrows, if the eyebrows are arched, you're dealing with an extremely bad person. So, the example I have for that is, well, obviously, Benjamin Netanyahu, but like I said, it's YouTube, so we don't want to show anything with that sort of topic. But look at Benjamin Netanyahu's eyes, and he has arched eyes, and they are evil, right? So, yeah, like, and if somebody has long eyebrows, straight and long, they're a very sensitive person. If somebody has short eyebrows, they're very quick, they're very decisive, they can make their decisions very quickly. Now, as of the nose, like I said, a Roman nose is a Mars archetype. It's manly on a man. Like, imagine, like, when you look at a Roman or Greek coin and you see, like, the emperor or his side profile and you see that long Greek nose, that long Roman nose, sorry, that bent like Caesar nose. That these people make not great warriors, but they make the what's it called, the best strategists. So in fact they are like the best generals, so they are above the warriors. Now, if you find this trait in a woman, it means she's going to be very girl bossy and very corporate and very annoying. So, like I said, the Venus archetype for a girl is a more soft, playful nose. Now, if they have a upturned nose, the best example I could think here is Meghan Markle. She's got that upturned nose. This is a very narcissistic person, and I would stay away from that person if they've got that sort of upturned nose. Or if they've got like a very fat, snub nose, then, like I says, I would stay away from that person because they are very snooty, they are very, because they've got a very snubbed nose. So, yeah. But if somebody's got a straight, long nose, we call this the Greek nose, not the Roman nose. And, what's it called? Like I said, these people can make their decisions and actions. In the long term, they can plan them out. So yeah, but if it's extra beaked, like a Semite nose, you're dealing with somebody that might be a bit cunning. So, like I said, be a bit careful. because the nose is the pillar to the face, okay? So if you got the forehead, if they have a big forehead, it means this person plans, waits, and acts. So like the hunter eyes and like the long nose. If it's short, they're not really an intellectual. Once again, also foreheads, you can't really judge them well because of hairstyles and four lines getting away, but in the side profile, their forehead will show out through their frontal lobe tilt. So and also the eyes, if the eyes are like angled, so let's get a picture of some eyes. So this is like a V, like it says, this is like a deep set hunter eye. So like I said, it's like these. This is like a masculine eye, and these people they're looking out a cave. You know, they're like watching, they're scanning. You know, they have no fear, and sort of a more rounded eye like this. This is sort of like the Venus eye, and it's the more feminine eye. So yeah, so physiognomy, like I said, it's not to be taken as a real stuff. It's not rooted in science. Like some people like astrology, I don't know, so I just decided to make a more fun video. Sorry that half of these pictures failed. I just thought, oh great, I just got a selfie stick now, but I just downloaded all these pictures and they all sort of failed, but